So when I went to hospital, of course, people came all around me, all the doctors, and they told me, I heard that they were talking, it looks like she had stroke.
Mm.
When I heard the name stroke, I was like, um, I was scared. I was very scared. It was a big shock for me. I have three kids. I didn't know what to do at that point because I couldn't move my left side. I could talk, but I couldn't breathe without oxygen also because things went completely wrong with me. Until that point, I didn't realize that was end.
Welcome, and thank you for watching Your Wellness with Esthe, a series of content and shows we'll put out to share tips, news, and stories about how you can live your best and healthiest life. So this is our first program, and we wanted to start it by talking with our founder, Feride. Feride started this business because of a series of very unfortunate events. She endured a sudden stroke at 40, a car accident, deaths in the family, and divorce, all within a span of 18 months. I couldn't help but, to feel goosebumps everywhere when she shares how she made an incredible recovery and made a complete shift in her mindset to start this business where she could also help others battle through their struggles mentally and physically and find their confidence again, just like she did. Here's the story and why SD exists to help our amazing clients like you. Hi, Friday. Thank you for sharing your story. We want to share it with others because you've literally been through hell and back. On that day, it was just a regular day for you. You got in the car, you went to the clinic to do a treatment, and then suddenly, just suddenly, you had a stroke. You didn't see it
Yeah.
coming. Talk to me about that. Talk to us about what happened on that day.
What happened is I woke up from the procedure, the daily procedure that I had. When I woke up, Karina, I realized there was something wrong and I couldn't breathe and I couldn't, they asked me to walk around before I go home. And they helped me to get up and walk me around. When I woke up and walking around, I realized that I couldn't walk properly. And first, I didn't, of course, understand. I thought that, oh, because of the anesthesia that I had and the things could happen. And, maybe I was just tired.
Yeah.
But when I was walking around with the oxygen mask, I fell on the ground and two girls they were holding me and they didn't even know what was happening. I was shocked that, I was like, what's going on? And I asked them to call my doctor. My doctor came, like, took him to hour to come back to clinic. It was Friday afternoon around 5 o'clock. He came and he said to me, there is a chance, he was explaining me, of course, before, there's a chance that, could things can go wrong and I have to go to hospital because things went wrong. And I said, what happened? He said, I'm not sure. So he said, I'm not sure what happened, but they need to do some sort of checkup. So we're sending you to hospital. So when I went to hospital, of course, people came all around me, all the doctors, and they told me, I heard that they were talking, it looks like she had stroke.
Mm.
When I heard the name stroke, I was like, um, I was scared. I was very scared. I didn't know what to do. It was a big shock for me. I have three kids. I didn't know what to do at that point because I couldn't move my left side. I could talk, but I couldn't breathe without oxygen also because things went completely wrong with me. And yeah, so that's how I realized I had stroke. And they came and asked me the question, what happened? How do why did you come to, what happened to you? What happened? And I explained them. I said, I was just having just some sort of operation. And then I woke up with a problem. And they asked me first, do you have hole in your heart? I said, no, nothing that I know. And they done all the tests, all the checkups, everything. And they said to me, they confirmed that I had stroke. they only it took time them to understand why I had the stroke. And I ended up staying at the hospital 14 days, Karina, because of I couldn't move my left side. I couldn't move my leg. It was very scary time for me. So
Yes,
I didn't know what to. First thing I said, what's going to happen to me and what's going to happen to my kids? That was the first thing it came into my mind. I was like, I was a gym freak. I was doing, going gym 3 times a week, and I was living very healthy. And until that point, I didn't realize that was end with the life. When I came to that point, um, I realized that I was close to end, because when they were waking me up from the procedure, I was in dark, and I remember they were calling my name, Feride, 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 Feride. And I remember that moment, that I was keep thinking that after the operation, I knew that was coming back. I knew I came back from the death,
yeah.
because I remember I saw my grandfather passed away, and I saw my grandfather was calling me, and I was calling his name. I said, like, grandfather, wait, I'm coming. He said to me, no, it's not your time yet. You're not coming to me.
Oh my
And I
God.
was so, yeah, this is during, like, before I realized that I had stroke. I was still under anesthesia. And then he called him, and I called his name. I was like, yelling his name. Oh, grandfather, I missed you so much. I just want to hug you. Wait.
Oh my
He said,
God.
no, don't come to this part. You must stay there. And in that moment, I heard they calling my name, Feride, Feride, Feride. And then when I wake up, you pull someone from the darkness, like dark place.
Yeah.
That's, I was like, oh, I came back, and then I, like, realized that I was in the room. Girls that are around me, they were asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? That moment, that flashback keep coming back to me when I was at hospital. I was like, you came to end. You almost died.
So you had a near-death experience.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, I was like, because I've had a very special connection with my grandfather. I grew up with him. So when I saw him and I came back, and he was telling me, no, no, it's not your time yet. You have to go back. You have to go back. Don't come this side, he said to me. And then he made me go back. When I came back, I was like, okay, I came back, and I came back like this. Now what's going to happen to me? And I have 3 kids, and I was like, my younger one, it was 14th of October. My
Mm.
younger child was in that time, but 7 years old, and on 17th was her birthday. And I couldn't even move my body. I was like, how am I going to take care of my kids? Who's going to take care of us now? How am I going to go back to work? What am I going to do? Like, all my accounting career, everything has I was scared of thinking that, am I going to be able to walk again? How am I going to adapt to new life with this new body? Like, if I can't walk, who's going to take care of me? Am I going to be in the bed for rest of my life? That's what I was keep thinking. And I was very scared, because I was also in intensive care for 4 days. I had the
Yes.
oxygen. I couldn't move my body, and doctors were keep coming in, because I was 40 years old, and I was the probably only 40 years old person who had the stroke. When they took me to the yard, the level, I think level 4, it was level 4. People were, I was in the yard. I was with people over 70 years old, so 60, 70 years old. Every time nurses were coming in, and when they were changing their shifts and coming and asking me, oh my God, what happened to you? You're so young. Well, what's wrong with you? Why did you have how come, did you have a stroke? And they were asking me questions and find out why I had the stroke. That was also scaring me. It was every time they were coming, oh my God, what happened to you? Because I
Mm.
was like, okay, this is something very serious, and people don't get better from stroke. It was like it was I realized that I thought that it was my new identity, that I had stroke. Rest of my life, I'm gonna live with this.
Yes.
How I felt, Karina. I was like,
Yes.
that wasn't future for me at that moment. I was so scared, worried, sad, and yeah, it was very
Yes. Yeah, I
frustrating.
mean, you never even had any symptoms or anything like that before, and then suddenly, just out of a sudden, you go about your everyday life or your everyday thing, and then you end up in the ICU in the hospital, you know. And I think you were telling me the other day that you overheard the doctor telling your then partner to get ready, to
Yeah,
get his things ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. Yeah, he never told me that until like last year, 5 years, he said to me, doctors told him that night when they took me to hospital, get ready, be prepared for everything. So that was like, I can't imagine, him, that was he thinking with the kids left. I knew there was something wrong. I knew from his face, I knew from doctors. They would keep coming back and checking on me. My blood pressure was very extremely low,
Mm-hmm.
53 and 89 something. They thought that I was dead. Doctors would keep telling me, like, they're trying to understand what was wrong with me. And yeah, it was you come, I don't know, like, I've learned that people, when you come to that was my first time coming to the moment that something was happening to me without my consciousness,
Yeah.
and I had to deal with it consciously, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do because I was just living happily, kids, cars, driving, going out, drinking sometimes,
You're living the
going
good
out.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good life. I had a good life with family,
Yes.
and I had so many people around me, and my family, friends, and everyone. But since that happened, everything has changed.
Yes. And I want to ask you about that. What clicked? You were 4 days in a coma in the ICU. You couldn't move your leg. You went from being so active to being completely immobile. So what clicked? You had a conversation with someone, who encouraged you. But did it happen at that point when you started to really use your mind to really get you out of that situation?
No, I was so, I believed that there wasn't any future for me. I was so convinced with, because of the doctors and nurses, and my ex-partner, he was just coming and telling me, um because they told him that she's not going to move her leg again. This is not getting any better. This is getting worse and worse every day. So physiotherapists started coming, and she said to me, we're going to do some exercises together, and then let's see, we'll get you up again. You'll be walking again. And then she was coming and telling me do exercises. So she came first day. I remember I was like, okay, all right. She told me to move your leg, start, moving your leg, do this exercise. She tried with me about 15 minutes, and then she left. Second day, she came again. She showed me the same exercises. I said, look, I can't do it. It's not happening. I'm trying. I'm trying my best to move my leg, but it's not happening. The third day, she came again. I remember she said to me, look, we need to do these exercises. You'll get better. She's the only one who was telling me I'll get better. And I said to her, like, what makes you say that I'm gonna get better? I can't even move my leg. I can't do it. I go, don't you see that I can't even feel it? How am I gonna move it? You are asking me to move my leg. I can't even feel my leg, and I hit my leg so hard. I go, and I start crying. After she left again, I told her that was my daughter's birthday, and after, like some time, and then she called me, and then she said, oh, it was my birthday. She cried. I was probably my seventh or eighth day. She cried. She goes, you were not even here. It was my birthday. She's a 7 years old girl. She cried that, she goes, you don't love me. Because you don't love me,
Oh,
you didn't come and see me. I go, Mom, don't say that. I go, I love you so much. I can't come there at the moment, but I'll be there very soon. We hang up the phone, but I start crying.
Mm.
I start crying, and I said, I thought that I I said to myself, she's right about that. I left her. And look at me. I was like, I can't even walk. How am I going to go back home? I was just so emotional, very upset, very sad, and crying a lot.
Sure, sure.
And when I was in that emotion, I remember what the physiotherapist told me. She said to me, put all your energy into your give all your energy to your leg. Just imagine that you're moving your leg. And I remember that time I said to myself, you know what, just try. You've got nothing to lose, just try. And I was sad, I was angry, I was like, my emotions were so high, and I put all the energy there. And Karina, you're not gonna believe this. Like, it was a miracle. It was it
Miracle.
was it was a miracle, yeah. So much, like tiny micro movement, like, just this is my, imagine that this is my leg, yeah,
Mm.
just like tiny, like this, very, very, I could only see it. I moved my toes, and I was like, I stopped crying. I stopped crying, and I took the phone, and I called everyone. I said, I called my ex-partner, I called my, I had a friend, I called her and
I
called
mean,
everyone. I said something is changing. I think I'm gonna, I'll be able to walk again because I've done it. I've imagine that you're not feeling part of your body, and then you have a micro movement that gives you very tiny, small hope that that can happen. It can happen. And I've called a nurse. Nurse came there. Nurse called a doctor. Doctor came after 3, 4 hours. I was just so happy. And I kept doing the exercises. They make me so tired afterwards because I put all my mental, energy to my leg to keep, walking. You believe it or not, after 2 days, I was up with the walkers and I was walking around. I'll show you my video. Yeah.
that's
So I've
amazing.
learned that day we
Awesome.
have a mechanism here, like, in our head. If we believe, if we have the belief that we can do it, if you can picture it, if you can visualize that visual, that whatever you want to do in your life, if you can have the visual, you'll do it. When I started, of course, walking around, my belief system completely changed. My values completely changed. I looked the life different because I realized that it's been given to me second time. I was gifted with my own life with this, knowledge and experience and everything. I was I was extremely happy that I came back to life again. When I started walking, I went home with my walkers. I went home, and it took me probably 2 weeks to be on my 2, 3 weeks to be on my feet without
That's very
walking.
fast. Very
Yeah,
fast.
fast. Yeah, very fast because I was a fit person. I
Mm.
was doing exercise a lot. I was going gym like 3 times a week.
Mhm.
So because my body was fit, I was I was eating healthy. Not that I wasn't eating, I was still, cheating in, sometimes, but
Yeah,
I was living healthy, eating healthy, doing my exercises. So that helped me so much.
of
That helped
course.
me, yeah, to,
Of
come
course.
back to my um, muscle has a memory, definitely. Muscle 100% has a memory, and
Yes, muscle memory is very powerful. Yes.
very
Um,
powerful.
and when you talk about muscle, the mind muscle, after this experience, it was not the end, right? More things happened, right?
Yeah,
And
correct.
I want to ask you about your marriage, about your relationship, and something happened after that. You know, talk to us about what happened.
Before, yeah, there was. that year, my 40 years old age was full of 18 months. In 18 months, I had so many things happened in my life. First, before operation, I lost my grandfather, which I grew up with my grandfather. He passed away.
Yeah.
And then I lost my mother-in-law after 2 months, like out of nowhere. She was mum to me. She had a brain stroke and she fell on the floor, and in 40
Wow.
days, she passed away. So this was early 2016. And then after this, exactly 8 months, my father passed away, which I didn't know my father for 35 years. I haven't seen him. I haven't heard about him. Why am I telling you this story? I had hate to my father. Like all my life, I hated him because he wasn't there when we needed him. He left us when I was a child. When I heard that he's at hospital, he has cancer, they called me. They said, look, your dad is at hospital and he's dying. He wants to see you. And I said to myself, maybe this is a chance for me to say goodbye to him. Do I want to do it, or do maybe I don't want to do it. And I said to myself, go, because I was holding that hate in me. So when I went to hospital, the moment I saw his face, I dropped everything. He said to me, thank you for coming. He said, um, you did what I should be doing before. I couldn't do it. And then he just, he kissed my hand, he kissed me, he hugged me. And then he lived probably another 4 or 5 days. I had chance to forgive him. I had chance to see him and listen him and understanding him, why he's done what he's done. Because carrying emotions is killing us.
Yeah.
It can be anger, it can be sadness, it can be fear, guilt, hurt, or shame. They're holding so much energy. They block your energy, and when they block your energy, you can't look at life with 100% clear. You can't give all your energy to anything. Whatever the decision you're making, you definitely get affected from the previous ones. So that was when I forgive him at hospital and he passed away after 5 days. I felt lighter. I felt like I was like, that was unbelievable. This was before my stroke. I felt so lighter, and I said to myself, this is it. Like, I don't hate him anymore. So that cleared all my heavy energy that holding me and hate. All my, my things changed, Karina. Like I was happy. I was when my child was asking me something, I was more calmer. I was like, okay,
Mm.
yes. I was making my decisions better because I didn't know that the energy was blocking me from everything,
Yes.
from my
Yes.
future, from my new decisions, from my
Yes.
new future. Like I realized that within, but I couldn't name it. What was it? And then I lost, and then I had stroke. And after I had stroke, I started walking again because I came back to life with different mentality. It was given to me. I prayed so much. I said, if I have another chance to leave, this time I'm gonna make difference for everyone, not only for myself, for everyone around me. And after that, I had problem with my relationship. We were breaking up, and there was so
Mm.
much going on because I had stroke too. It was my mentality has changed. The way I look at things has changed, and I valued things different. That's what I told you. My value system completely shifted in a different way.
Yes.
Things
Yes.
that I was doing, I stopped doing them, and things that I wasn't doing, you know, I start thinking about them. So, and I think with stroke, it definitely touches your it plays with your mind a lot. It's not
Yes.
only physical damage. Stroke isn't physical damage. I finished it in 2 weeks at hospital. I was walking out. I realized there was a big mental damage. That was the worst part that I've had to face with. And it didn't happen overnight. It happened in a long time. In the meantime, I had a car accident. So stroke after stroke, and after 7 months I had car accident. I was a passenger in the car. My ex-partner was taking me to hospital, to doctor for a checkup, and he crashed the car. So the car was, they crashed each other, and there was a big, so it was airbags open, there was smoke in the car. I was so scared again that we were going to die in the car, three kids going to be alone in the, left alone, and what are we going to do that day? When that day, it was in the afternoon, so we went to, police came, ambulance came. I was shaking, I was scared, and they calmed me down. I went home, I was still shaking, I was still shocked.
Yes.
That night I had difficulty breathing. I couldn't
Mm.
breathe. Something happened to me. I was like, I couldn't name it, what was going on, what was going wrong with me.
This car accident, it was how many months after your stroke?
7 months. I think
Seven
it was,
months.
stroke was in October. The car accident was end of April. So it's probably
Good
seven,
God.
8 months.
Good God. Late, yeah, April
Yeah.
2017 then, April
Yeah, it
2017.
was April 29th of April. So about 8 months.
Wow.
So November,
Shit.
December, exactly 7 months. Yeah, seven and
Yeah.
a half months. That day we called ambulance. Ambulance came. It was probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And they asked me some questions, and I had difficulty, breathing. I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh, I had no energy. My heart was racing, and
Mm.
I didn't know what was happening, what was wrong with me. When they took me to hospital emergency, they asked me, do you have an anxiety? I said, what is anxiety? They said, anxiety is what you're living at the moment. This is an anxiety, and you
Yes.
have
Okay.
difficulty breathing. And what happened to you? And I explained what happened during the day. We had a big car accident, and and then they asked me what happened after the accident. I said I was just, for a moment when we crashed the car, I was scared. I thought we were going to die in the car because the car was written off. So it was a big crash. So and then they gave me Valium medications, then I was on antidepressant because of stroke, and they add another medication on my medications. So, and I went home with some, prescriptions again, and doctor letters and checkups and this and that, and I added another problem into my health that day. And I said, I thought that's a car accident. And anxiety was, that's how I've learned what anxiety is. It was, with me, it was very tough because people are having panic attack. I still don't know what was going wrong with me. Was I, how it was coming to me. All I remember, every time I was having an anxiety, I was on the floor, lying down, just couldn't even move my,
Mm.
body, tired,
Mhm.
get so
Mhm.
tired. And 2, 3 hours, because I also had stroke and I had heart problems. So because I had so many problems, they were always taking me to hospital because I was getting bruised and numbed my left side,
Yes.
and doctors had serious concern that I was going to have stroke again.
Oh God.
Because I knew that I would have another stroke, it was giving me more anxiety. Now I know why.
Yes, yes. And you never had anxiety before all these things happened, did you?
Never
Yeah.
had it before. I needed to relax my mind, and have some time. Like I need a break. I needed a good break that I could never have it. I still didn't have that break, by the way.
Yes.
So it was just on and on and on, like not
Yeah.
stopping, keep going. After this anxiety, I lost my dog with the car accident. It was a big car accident. The car just hit the dog, and he died after
That's
4 hours.
terrible. Yeah.
Of course, having the fear that I'm gonna have stroke again, it was still holding me back. It
Yeah.
was still something was telling me, like, think big. Something big is waiting for you. What do you need to do? What is
So when
it
did that
take?
moment happen then?
Yeah, what is all these things that are taking you? And then I end up opening this beautiful wellness clinic. That's how I've
Yes.
started here.
Yes, that's an amazing story. And and you will.
before the stroke and all these things that happened simultaneously in the 18 months. You were then an accountant, and then now you're doing a wellness and beauty and aesthetic health business. What's the most, your experience is incredible, even though there were many unfortunate things that happened. But what are the things that you can take away from what you went through, and how do you apply it to your business now in terms of how you help with your clients, how you help with your customers?
I had to change from accountant to something else. And then we opened this skin boutique and we said, let's start with skin, get, beauty and then that stuff. And I said, no, this is not it. It's not about beauty. It's not about how you look. It's about how you feel.
Yes, inside, yes.
How you feel inside. And then, of course, we started doing lots of research. My ex-partner did it a lot, and I've done it a lot. We start searching about everything. How can we like build this business? How can I change this to completely wellness center to help people out there? Not only get their beauty done, also how they feel, how internal. It's not only external part, also internal. How can
Yes.
we help them about with their energy, with
Yes.
their energy level, their stress level, their
Yes.
sleeping cycle, everything. Because
Yes.
today's world is all stress.
Yes.
Technology, yeah. Look, we have everything has of course so much benefits, so much pluses and positive sides as well as negative sides also. The only thing that
Yes.
you can change is you. If you can
Yes.
change, then you can change the world. I learned that,
Exactly.
but I was
Yes.
like thinking, how can I help? How can I do? What can I do? And I've started doing a lots of research about brain. When I was a child, I always wanted to be a doctor, but that never happened, of course. And life just threw me from one country to other country, one place to another place, and I had kids, I had to work. It just didn't happen. But I said to myself, doesn't matter, it didn't happen. That doesn't mean that I can't help people. I can help people in a different way. And then we built this beauty and wellness clinic, and we have people are coming to us. They get their beauty facial injectables, all their how they look, also how they feel. We help them with the IV infusion. We give them energy and with magnesium, because we don't take things daily that we should be taking.
Yes.
And we're very busy with working. Also,
Yes.
COVID did so much to everyone. We were stuck home, of course, like everyone else all over the world. So we couldn't have enough oxygen. We couldn't have enough
Yes.
vitamins and minerals and magnesiums and everything. And because we were, lack of all those things, and people were feeling so tired. And every time I speak with someone, they were so stressed. To me, I had to do something to reduce this stress. So that's brought me to combine oxygen therapy with IV infusion, put them together, and and give this service to people out there who needs some who wants to feel good, who wants to sleep better, who wants to
Yes.
have life. He wants because it changes your lifestyle when you if you change your feeling, if you have lots of energy, you have lots of things to do. But when you finish the day tired and with low energy, you go home and you'll be like, okay, you'll be, the way you're talking to your kids is different. The way you're talking to
Yes.
your partner is different. The way you answer phone is different. And also when you
Yes.
wake up in the morning, people do wake up so tired lately. They like, I didn't sleep well last night. And when you ask them why, it's either overthinking, or it's either they're having so much stress, or it's either they lack of definitely lots of vitamins and minerals and oxygen, because we had to wear masks.
Yes. Yes.
That's what we do. Now we're here to help everyone.
Yes.
We provide them oxygen. This is why I give everyone free oxygen. I want them to see how it feels.
I think this is what ST is all about. You are not just walk in, get your treatment done, walk out, bye bye. You are just a very holistic, personal, caring family-owned business, right? And with your own story, you've been through everything. That's why you can really empathize with your customers, those who are going through the daily lack of energy problems that most of us have, but also those people who are going through their own battle with a disease that they are facing and fighting. You have customers, from who have heart problems, who have cancer, stroke as well, just from my knowledge. And I personally, from a customer's point of view, I wouldn't want to consult in another business if they don't understand what I've been through or what I'm going through.
So now I'm also a hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner. Um, and I also now know I've learned how to deal with people who has anxiety, stress, habits, bad habits, sleeping problems, relationship, and all those sort of problems that now I can help people with. But
Yes.
everything starts with belief. If you believe it, if you believe that you can do it, I've learned that in a tough way, and I've experienced that in I feel blessing that I haven't learned this from the books. I lived this, like I've
Yes.
witnessed it. I've personally been there, been through in this hard time with kids, family, friends, and health. I was always losing my life. It was given to me second time, second chance. This was my second chance. And I learned that if you believe, if you believe something that you can do it. You just have
Yes.
to imagine it. You just have to have the vision. You just have to first have the vision and then have your plan and then work hard. If you work hard,
Yes.
Karina, if you work hard, like I said before, consistency is the key. You
Yes.
must keep doing it.
Yes.
You must keep doing it every day and every day. Every morning now I wake up, I always say, this is what, since I had stroke, I always say, thank you for God for giving me the second chance. Sometimes I feel so low. What I do, I come here, I ask my nurses or doctor to give me some energy boost or vitamin C or whatever, something to boost me up, and I start the day fresh. I never go home tired anymore, and I never start the day with low energy anymore
Wow.
because of the business that we put in this, Chadstone Shopping Centre. It is a beauty and wellness clinic. And yes, whoever walks in, we help them. I want to help them from A to Z with everything. And we have
Holistic.
a exactly future plan that we want to bring cryotherapy and all those, complete the wellness center here with all
Yes.
mental and physical to
Yes.
improve everyone in every way. Yeah.
Yes. So anyone who walks in here will definitely walk out feeling refreshed, invigorated, and re-energized. Yes.
Yeah.
So how can people find Esthe when they come to Chadstone? Where are you located?
We are people who knows Zara, we are under Zara, or people who knows Optus, we are right behind Optus. We are on the lower ground, and the clinic called Esthe and Co. Yeah, and everyone is welcome. Of course, they can call us, they can book online,
Yeah.
or they can jump, speak with the girls, and we always have 7 days nurses here, and sometimes once a week, once a week we have doctor, so doctor, they can speak with the doctor. And yeah, and to find the right treatment, which one to have, we're always here to help. We give free consultation to clients. They can come with like, oh, we heard about something but we're not sure what to do. Our professional registered nurses are here to help them
Okay,
in every way.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's so great. Okay, thank you so much for your time, Feride. It's been such an honor to listen to your story, to be inspired by your story, and I'm sure many of our audiences would definitely be very moved by your story.
What I want to say, this is also on my flyer, and I tell everyone, whatever you can imagine and hold in your mind as a real, can become real. So believe it and work hard.
Indeed.
And indeed,
Indeed.
yeah.
I believe in that. Thank you, Feride. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Karina.
Okay,
Take care.
bye
Thank you.
now.
Bye-bye.